everyone, this is Bremster. I'm in the middle of yet another marathon recording session where I'm trying to get a whole heap of videos out of the way while I have some free time. This puzzle is The Count by Blueflower. I did a puzzle of Blueflower only a couple of weeks ago, I think, and she was happy to see one of her first puzzles ever created featured on the channel. So she's created another puzzle that she's happy with, so she sent it in. You want to see a puzzle done on my channel? Submit it. That's the way it works. I will always try and make that happen. I know nothing about this puzzle apart from the rules. So what have we got going on? Of course, I haven't mentioned it in a few days. Linked below, of course, will be the Welcome to Sum Dots pack, where you can get a whole bunch of Sum Dots constraints. I've done a few Welcome to Constraints, well, Introduction to Constraints videos in the last few days, where hopefully people are exploring some new stuff, but the Sum Dots constraint is something that people have been playing with, and I always try and do stuff when there's new things around, new setters, new constraints, new ideas. I will always try and showcase them if I can. So people reach out to me and say, we're doing this thing. That's always something I'm going to pay attention to and try and bring to as many people as possible. And even though my audience is select, or as some people like to say, small, I'll do what I can. I have fun. So yeah. So this is The Count by Blueflower. Let's have a look at the rules and then give it a shot. So how does this work? Normal Sudoku rules apply. So in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. Killer cages. Digits in cages must sum to the number in the top left corner of the cage. So these two digits will sum to 13, these 3 will sum to 14, and these 2 will sum to 15 all the way through. Digits cannot repeat in cages. So even though those two digits could potentially both be 3 by Sudoku rules, that would break the killer cage. Digits placed on an arrow must sum to the digit on that arrow's circle. So if you were to grab those two digits there and add them together, the sum of those two digits will go in that cell. Similarly, the sum of those two digits will go in that cell. Some of those two digits will go in that cell. Digits in bordered squares must be even. I've reset this to use the constraint cosmetic that I've often used. We used this in the polarizing Sudoku pack. That will be an even cell. That will be an odd cell. So digits in bordered circles will be odd. And the digit in the yellow tinted square, this was originally grey, but with min maxes, I like to tint one of them yellow, tint one of them a bit blue, so you can kind of see the high-low a bit clearer. So this cell has been tinted a bit yellow, so you can tell this needs to be higher than all the orthogonally adjacent cells, which is the fortress rule. So this will be higher than all of those, which is immediately a bit interesting. So they're all of the rules. I can't say any questions because you can't ask me questions while I'm recording. Let's give this a shot. So there's a couple of things that jump out at me. That cell was the first thing I saw while I was looking at it, because this is a minimum of 3. So this is a minimum of 3. So that has to be at least 4. That's actually less interesting than I thought. There's not enough of these for this to be a parody puzzle. 15 is going to be 6, 7, 8, or 9. 15 is going to be 6, 7, 8, or 9. What about this row in total? So 35 plus 6 is 41. So these cells sum to 41. So these two cells sum to 4, and there's only one way to do that. That's 1 and 3. Can I do similar up here? Actually, this might be more restricted, because 15 plus 14 is 29, 39, 40, 42. So 45 minus 42 is 3. These cells have to sum to 3. They're 1 and 2, which means that's an X-wing on 1s. And I keep coming across X-wings. So what does that mean? It means in this row, 1 must be in one of those two cells, and in this row, 1 must be in one of those two cells. I'm going to try and explain this well. So what that means is if I put a 1 here, I cannot put a 1 here, and I'd have to put a 1 here. And if I put a 1 here, I cannot put a 1 here, and because this would become a 3, this would become a 1. Now, what an X-wing means is I cannot put a 1 in any of these other cells in this column as well. It's clear why I can't put one in the row, because if I do, then if I put a 1 here, both of these will be 2. Now, it's not as clear why I can't put a 1 here, but if I do, then I overcome these rows, because if I was to put a 1 here, this becomes a 2 and this becomes a 1, this becomes a 3 and this becomes a 1, and I've put 2 1s in that column. And that's because I've overcome the count of 1s in the columns and rows. I've got the position for the 2 1s in those rows. Therefore, because those 2 1s also are only in 2 columns, I've got the position for the 2 1s in the columns. There are many ways of explaining X-wings, and mine is not the best. But anyway, that's what I've got. Now, 14 in 3 without 1 or without 2. So it must have a 3 in it, because if I do 4, 5, 6, that's 15. So it must have a 3 in it. This can't be 3 because I can't put 1, 2 here because I'd break that cell. So that can't be 3. This can't be 3 because I can't put 1, 2 here. I'd break that cell. So that can't be 3. So we've got a 3 there. So that is the 3. These are either need to be 11 without 1, 2, or 3. So if it's 4, it's 4, 7 or 5, 6. So I must have a 5 or a 6 in here. I've got to have a 6 in here. Well, I've got to have a 6 or a 7 in here. And I have to have a 6 or a 7 in here? Yeah. So that's a 6, 7 virtual pair, which means I can't do 6, 7 in there. So this is 5, 8 or 4, 9. Interesting? Probably. Now, this is kind of interesting as well. This cell contributes to this 12 cage, and whatever is, and this 12 cage makes up of these 2 arrows, because those 2 are that and those 2 are that. So if this is 4, this is 8. If this is 5, then this is 7. If this is 6, this is 6. And if this is 7, this is 5. So this is 5, 6, 7, or 8. Which doesn't look helpful. Though I might be able to repeat the trick down here, because I can't use 1 or 3 in this cage. So there must be a 2 in it, because again, 4, 5, 6 is higher. So there must be a 2. I can't do a 2 here, or they're both right. So that's a 2. And now these sum to 11. So again, they're 4, 7, or 5, 6. Which means I must use a 6, 7 here. No, I don't have to use, yeah, I must use a 6, 7 here, and I must use a 6 or a 7 here. So this is 4, 9, or 5, 8. And it can't be 5, 8. This is 4, 9. And this is going to collapse the whole thing, because I can't use 4, 7 in here. This is 5, 6. I can't use 6, 9 in here. This is 7, 8. And that's collapsed that whole row. That 8 has done a huge amount. Oh, I could have done the same up here. This is not 4, 9. So there's no 5 in here. So this is 3. Without 5, I can't use 5, 6. So there's no 6 in here. Pay attention to the clues you're given. Don't be a bremster. This can't be 7, 8. This is 6, 9. And now I've got an X-wing on 9s. So 9 is in one of those 3. I've got an X-wing in 8s. 8 is in one of those 3. Now, this is 4 or 7, so that restricts this to be a lot more. So if this is 4, this is 8, and if it's 7, it's 5. So this is only 5 or 8 now. And I can do the same here. If this is 5, this is 7, and if it's 6, it's 6. So this is a 6 or a 7. Find it interesting that these... This has to be higher than 6 now. So this is 7 or 9. Because I can't use 8. Five or 6 in 2. So if it's 5, it'd be 1, 4, which it can't be because I don't have a 4, or 2, 3. So if it's 5, it's 2, 3. If it's 6, it would be 1, 5, or I couldn't use, so it's 2. And I don't have anywhere near as much pressure over here. Can I do 4 up here? Maybe. 9 is in one of those. 8 is in one of those. What about this 13? Oh, that's clever. That is very clever. I would say that is unobvious, but is very clever. So there's only 3 ways to make up 13. So one of them is 4, 9. The next one is 5, 8, which I can't use because it would break that cell. And the next one is 6, 7, which I can't use because it would break that cell. That is a 4, 9. So what can this be now? I can't use 9, 1. I could use 2, 8. I could use 3, 7. I can't use 4, 6. Have I not got... But I can't use an 8 on that arrow. And I can't use 8 here. So 8 is in one of these 4. I think I can use it in the 11 cage though. It'd be 8, 1, 2. Which would make this a 1, 2 pair, but I think that's okay. Nine, 8. I need to put 7 in here somewhere. Huh. Do I need to do a count on all of these boxes across multiple columns? That seems... It seems a little... Four, 9 goes in there. I can't put... Okay, so 9 can't go here. 9 can't go on this arrow and 9's not in here. So 9 is down here. So 9 is now up here. That seems unhelpful. This 11 cage? Are these about 1s and 2s? Or is it just about Brewster being an idiot? I mean, that happens a lot. So how can 6 be made up? I've got too many options because this cage had stuff knocked out of it. This one doesn't. This one does. But I could still use a 4. one of these has to be 1, 3. One of them must be 1, 3. Because one of those has to be 4. Now, once I use 1, 3, the 7 can't be 1, 6 or 3, 4, so it'd have to be 2, 5. So this is a 1, 3, 2, 5 quadruple. Well, that can't be 2, 5 on that side. So that's not 2, 5. That's the 1, 3. That's the 4. That's the 7. And that is not 1, 3. That's 2, 5, which means that is 1. That is 2. Wow. That is some nice arrow interactions. That makes that 3 and that 1. 3 comes out of here. So now that actually gave me a restriction, didn't it? So let me look at this again. So if this is 5, I can't use 1, 4, and I can't use 2, 3. So that is 6. That is 5. 6 now can't be 2, 4, so it must be 1, 5. 5 can't be 1, 4, so it must be 2, 3. 5 must go in here now because I've got an X-wing on 5. So I've tried to describe X-wing before. So that has to be the 5. That's not a 9. 9 had to go in here and it's not there because of the math on the 12 cage. That's a 9, which for a fortress cell is yeehaw. Why is that a fortress cell? Have I used that logic? No. So this is 6. So this has to, well, this is 6. So this is now 6. Oh, this is 4. So they had to sum to 12. So this is an 8. There's no 8 in here. So this is not 2, 8. It's 3, 7. These bouncing off each other through the cage. So this is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, 1, 2, and 5. There's no 2 in the middle. There's no 5 there. 3, 7. This is 6. And it doesn't have a 3 on it. So it's not 3, 3. So it's not 1, 5. So it is 2, 4. So this is 1 and 8. So that's 9. So that's a 2. And that's the 5, which looks down, making that the 5 and that the 1. That the 1 and that the 5. You know what I meant. That's the 8 and that's the 1. Has that run dry? No, 2 looks down, making that 4 and that 2. The 4 looks down, making that 9 and that 4, which looks up, making that 6 and that 9. And I'm 3 and 7-less. These are 2, 6, and 7. That's not 2. It's not 6. That's not 6. So that is 6. That is 7. That is 2. That looks up, making that 3 and 7. These rows are done. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is 8. These are 1, 2, 3. That is odd. So the 4 goes there. 5, 6, 7. So that's that entire... Can never remember what they're called. They're bands horizontally. Someone told me in a comment and I proceeded to immediately forget what they're called. Sorry about that, whoever tried to help me out. I'm not trying to ignore you. I'm just forgetting. Okay. So can I repeat any of that over here? Yeah, these have to be 8. They can't be 1, 7. They could be 2, 6. They can be 3, 5. They can't be 3, 5 because I've got an X-wing on 3s. This is 2, 6. 8 is not in either of those two. 8 is down here somewhere. So, how do I break into this? 5, 2, 3. These are all pairs. Something will break that. I think it was the fortress cell over here. So this is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 6, 7. Well, there's no 7 there, so that's the 7. And now I've got triples along here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 8, and 9 go in there. That is not 6. Okay, and these are 1, 2, and 5, and that is not 2. So I have a 1, 5 pair. That is not 5. I've got a 1, 2 pair. It pushes that up a little bit. Not enough, though. This is a quad. Let's fill it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 3, 5, and 7. Well, there's no 5 in those, so that becomes the 5. So this is 1, 3, 7. Surely this 11 cage is now going to do a lot of damage. Well, there's no 7 there, so there is a 7 in the 11 cage. So if it's 7, 1, that's 8, and this needs to be... Right. If this is 7, 3, I've already got 10. This needs to be a 1, and it can't be a 1. So this is not 7, 3. This is 7, 1. This is the 3. The 7, 1 means that these sum to 8. In order to get to 11, that needs to be the 3, and that needs to be the 2. The 3 looks up, making that 1 and that 3. The 1 looks down, making that 7 and that 1. The 7 looks down, making that 8 and that 7. And now we're doing the whole thing in columns 2 and 3 that we did over here. 5 and 8. 2 looks up, making that 6 and that 2. The 6 looks up, making that 4 and that 6. The 4 looks down, making that 9 and that 4. This now has to be the 9. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. So these are a pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, and 6. Well, that's unhelpful. One of those has to be even. Fortunately, there's a 6 there. That is the 4, and that is the 6. I don't mind clues like this that feel like they're not useful, because often with a puzzle like this, people will come at a puzzle of this difficulty from multiple different directions. So I came at it from the killer cages and then the interaction of that on the arrows. If someone found another way into this puzzle, they may find these clues to be absolutely critical in a different solve path. So that's the sort of stuff that I have absolutely no problem with. I know a lot of people will say, well, this clue was unnecessary. It may have been unnecessary in your solve path. Great. Someone else may have used that clue and found a different piece of logic. That's fine. I don't know. I'm not going to try and resolve this puzzle in a different way. That is something I've only done once on my channel, I think. And that was a really cool video puzzle by Scott Strossal. 1, 3, and 8. Oh, I've got a 1, 5 pair looking down. That has to be the 8. So there's no 8 there. 1 and 3, not sure yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and 9. That's not 4. That's not 7. Okay, it's going to be this arrow now. It has to be. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, and 7. That's not 4. That's not 3. That's not 7. So that looks like a useless triple, except these two are going to interact with this somehow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 8, and 9 go in there. That can't be 8. Okay, so what can I get here? Can either of those make a 6? If this is a 3, I would need another 3. If this is a 7, I'm already over 6. That is a 9. Right, so how do I make 9? 3 would need a 6, and I don't have it. So that is 7, that is 2, that is 4, that is 3. 3 makes that 1, which makes that 3. 1 looks up, meaning that is not 1. That is 5, that is 1. The 1 looks up, making that 5. That is not 5. The 1 looks up, making that 2 and 1. There'll be all sorts of stuff going on that I'm not seeing. This 6 makes that 8, which makes that 9. I'm doing this in a very clumsy way. That is 6. That is 9. That is 4. And that is 7. And that is The Count by Blueflower. That was very cool. I loved the interaction of these arrows with these killer cages. That was very, very cool. I enjoyed that a lot. Um, Keep making puzzles, Blueflower. I want to see more stuff, and I want to see how you grow as a setter. Please feel free to reach out to me too if you want to play around and possibly submit something to the pack we're working on. Please reach out. Um, Other people can do the same. That's why I said it in a video rather than reaching out privately. Um, so yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed that puzzle. I know I did. Yeah, once again, I mean, I've got a fair few puzzles in my queue now, but if you do have any recommendations or submissions, please send them through. I hope you're enjoying the Welcome to Some Dots pack. I'm currently starting to put together the pack of puzzles that I have been releasing to my Patreon subscribers, the people who pay for my support me on Patreon. All of those puzzles are going to be released free in a pack probably in about a month, so maybe a little longer. I need to get the count right. I'm thinking of releasing one of those puzzles, although by the time this video comes out I may have already, as on Logic Masters Germany. I'm really happy with it. So puzzle by the name of Parody Tentacles may be coming out early. We'll see. The whole point of those puzzles is they will come out for free at some point, probably most of them in a pack. That should come soon as well. Yeah, always stuff happening. Reach out for puzzles. There's the Bremster discussion channel on the Patreon, the Puzzle Plaza. Yeah, reach out. Thank you, Blueflower, for submitting. I'm really enjoying your puzzles. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and good luck with your solving.